Well, for those of you who were following my first video, I did my first 3 spots, which was the middle school, the crossing spot, and I helped her with the buses, get the buses out. Then I shot over and got the high school kids. I got there in plenty of time, so that worked out fine. And then I'm over here at the elementary school, and I got about 10 minutes, so figured I'd jump on and continue the discussion, whatever it was we were discussing. I don't recall. But yeah, it's keeps me busy, and I like being busy. I think when you're young, you're looking to, you want to do things, but you don't really want to be busy. You want to do things that are fun, and productivity is not probably a high priority when you're younger. But as you get older, you'll find that productivity is really important. It frees up time for you to have fun. When you, as you get older, you more responsibilities. You have chores that are not necessarily ones you enjoy, but are necessary. You look at, I work with school kids and their parents, and I see parents who are really stressed out. They're, they're coming into the school to pick up their child on 2 wheels, and you can tell they're stressed for time. And the thing is that we don't realize kids act independent. They always want to be, Mom, I can walk here for myself. But you have a mom or a dad who doesn't show up to pick their child up at school, and they just lose it. They feel totally, they feel frightened, and it's almost like, I assure them, your mom's probably running late. She probably ran into traffic. She didn't forget about you. But I think when you're that age, you want to have freedom, but not too much freedom. And that's why, as a parent, you have to be able to determine what's too much and what's not enough. And it's actually, once you get used to it, like most parents will tell you, it's actually a pretty smooth transition. What happens a lot at the elementary school here is, I start off the kids in September, and I get kids who, going into 4th and 5th grade. They're the older kids. They're usually 9, 10 years old, and they pretty much can. A lot of them walk to school with another child or two, and the parents really don't have to get involved at all, almost. And and they're pretty safe because they travel in groups, and occasionally you get kids who travel alone, and they do fine. And and I believe that it's a good way to make your child independent. And then you got the new moms who are taking their kids to kindergarten or 1st grade, or maybe a new school. They moved into town from another place. I had a couple of those last September, and they're the helicopter parents who and everyone's like that when you first become a parent, and they they want to make sure the kid is 100% safe and won't have any problems at all. And of course, none of us can guarantee that, but I understand what they're doing. So, but what I do find is after usually the first 4 weeks, they get used to me, I get used to them, their child is comfortable with me, and all of a sudden, the child who was being brought to school by mom is walking up alone, and I'll say, "Where's your mom?" "Oh, she just drops me off now, and she waits down there in the afternoon." So I said, "Oh, tell her I said hello." And I'm so happy inside that this kid has been given the freedom to, and obviously makes me feel good, because that means the mom has a level of trust that I will make certain that their child is safely inside the school. And I do. I not only cross children, I make certain that if they're alone, I make certain I keep an eye on them until they actually are inside the school. I can see the entrance of the school from where I am. So there are 2 schools here. There are 2 elementary schools. The town built a new elementary school. It cost a small fortune. And that houses the 1st to 3rd grade students, and then the old elementary school houses the 4th and 5th, yeah. So I have a lot less kids in the afternoon because there are less kids going to school now, and because the way they split up the different classes. And one of the schools is located on the other side, so most of those parents pick up their children, although there are a few walkers, and they do come down where I am, and then I'll have to cross them horizontally to get up where they live. It's a good situation because I can keep an eye on all the kids, and I like the fact that they're given independence at a certain point, and it's always nice to see them kind of develop into, real people. When they come in kindergarten, 1st grade, of course, they barely even look at you, And then by the end of 1st grade, they're calling me John, which I tell them, either Officer John or John, And I like the kids to call me John. I'm not an officer. But I really do like seeing them develop and turn into confident human beings. And so it's great. And so I'll tell you something. I always tell people, I know this is not brain surgery, crossing children, but, it's a lot of responsibility because people depend on you to cross their children. One woman told me, I had this other woman cover for me one day, and she's a competent crossing guard, but the woman said, John, if you're not there, I walk my child up. If you're there, I don't worry about it. And that's just familiarity, She's used to seeing me there, and she knows that I know her child, and her child feels comfortable with me, and she feels comfortable that I'm going to cross their child safely and keep an eye on them until they get to the point where they're going. And like I say, it's not brain surgery, but it's what's more important than the children, and the responsibility of making certain a child is safely across the street is my concern, and that's my job. And I call them my little clients. And once in a while, some kid will try to shoot across without me telling them, and I grab them and I go, I get a bucket kid, and I don't want to lose you because I'm going to lose a lot of money. And they look at me and I smile. They usually figure it out that I'm kidding with them, but it's important that first day of school I tell them that you don't move until I tell you to move. And these kids are really good. Sometimes if I'm not there or something, one of the mothers told me, my son wouldn't cross because you weren't there. She said it took me about 10 minutes to get him across. So, well, I said that's a good thing and it's a bad thing. But anyway, I got to get ready for this. It's my last, it's not my last. I got one more stop after this, but I won't have time to jump on after this one because I just barely make my other one. So, thanks for joining. Talk to you soon.